Tyrone.
This is John.
And this is Lit on Life's podcast.
Let's get it, dude.
Yeah.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the Lit on Life podcast. This is episode 52. I'm Tyrone, and I have a super dope guest with me today who I've met in recovery, Vanisa, who's also really good friends with Kiana. That's kind of how I met her. She's married to my friend Jesse as well. But Vanisa is a wonderful person, a light to the recovery community. And yeah, a sponsee just called her, and I am too lazy to want sponsees or anything like that because I deal with people all day at work,
Right.
But anyways, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. This is
Super
gonna be
grateful
fun.
to have you on. So, first question, easy question. What's your clean date?
My clean date is September 28th of 2020.
Nice. Like 5 years.
Yeah,
Nice.
5 years. Yep, just celebrated.
That's dope.
Yeah.
How do you feel after 5 years?
Honestly, year 5 was probably the most internal growth that I've had. It's just like after the complacency hits, you're kind of trying to find what's gonna work next for you.
Yeah.
You kind of start having those questions like, should I keep doing like the program? Like being in a 12-step program. Should I start trying other things? Like, just making sure I still make it to meetings and stuff or participate in the recovery community. You get to a point where like you've been clean long enough. That's where I feel like I was at. I thought I was at, I guess. But it's been good. Like I feel really good about it. I feel like I'm more self-aware now than I've ever been, which is both great and uncomfortable.
I felt like step 6, was it 5? No, 6 and 7 did that for me super aware of like everything about myself,
I say the same thing all the time. 6 and 7 for me was like when I really felt the change in my
it's like
recovery.
torture.
It is torture for sure. And I had like this crazy belief that when I worked those steps, like my character defects would disappear. You know? And they do not. But I got to like really take a look at the
But you're aware of them.
Yeah, I'm aware of them. I'm way aware, unfortunately. Now I have to know every time I'm acting like a total jackass, But yeah, it really changed the way I thought about myself. Like I wasn't like a super shameful step for me. Like I looked at it and it was uncomfortable, but at the same time I was like, I have control of these things that I think are a part of my personality or who make me me, but they don't. Yeah. They're just coping mechanisms I've developed over time.
And I can relate to, I got like 4 years or something. Then I was like, I kind of quit going to NA, like not kind of like I did, but
yeah.
But I found like a Course in Miracles, which was super beneficial for me. And I just made sure I kept doing something that was like helpful for me.
Absolutely.
But I think everybody probably goes through that process of like, of like, is this what I want to do? Is this, you get a certain amount of clean time under, and you just start wondering about other things, dude. And I think it's cool to incorporate all of it. Like,
for sure.
And it was super important to me for forever. Like, there's no way I'd still be clean if I didn't do what I did.
Yeah.
In NA,
Any kind of internal work. Like, I mean, the 12-step program works for me, and I've stayed in it, and I'm happy that I did because it's keeping me where I'm at right now. But any kind of internal work that I can do, like, I mean, even when I took a little break from going to meetings for a little bit, I was still actively talking to a sponsor, and I'm in therapy, and I'm probably in therapy forever. I can't even imagine not being in therapy. Like, I just feel like it helps keep me grounded and
Didn't you and Kiana have sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're totally fine.
Kiana have the same therapist?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, cool. She's awesome.
She's the best, yeah.
When did you start doing drugs?
So I started drinking when I was 9, with my family and my friends, my parents' friends' kids. And I started using like the gateway drugs around like 11 and picked up the heavier stuff around 14.
I think I drank my mom's. She got a DUI, and she didn't come. I didn't know she got a DUI or anything, but they didn't come back that night. And I drank like the open beers. I got a little buzz, and then my dad bought me a couple 40s. I won my boxing fight. I was like 12 or something, and I won my boxing match the day before. And we went to Mesquite, and he bought me a couple 40s, and I got super drunk off those because it's stronger alcohol there.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and I loved it, dude. But I waited to harder stuff to like cocaine. I waited till like 18. Ecstasy, I did some ecstasy at like through 16 through 18, and I loved that. But I had a problem with that. But yeah, I started early as well with my family too.
Yeah, like I think the first time I ever drank, no, I know. My parents were like bar frequent flyers, and so they would come home and have like these parties, and my sisters could sleep through everything, but like I could not. and I would always want to go down and see what they were doing. I just wanted to be involved in whatever they were doing and hang out with them.
Same.
And they were playing this like chess drinking game with 99 bananas, and I went down there, and my mom had said something to me like, if you want to be down here, you got you got to drink like we do, and like gave me a shot. And I think she thought that I was gonna like drink it and be like, oh, that was horrible, but I drank it and didn't make a face. And my mom was like, whoa, try that again, and then I did it again, and
She's like, do two this time.
yeah, and I was drunk, yeah, and I just remember feeling like this is the coolest thing ever, and I think from that moment forward, I like knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to do what they were doing. It looked fun. I was let loose. I wasn't worried about anything. I felt like my mom thought I was cool for some
Yeah.
reason, even though it's probably not what's going on in her head, but in my mind, I was like, oh, cool, I'm cool like my parents,
Yeah.
Like,
I'm one of them, dude.
I'm one of them
I
now.
remember feeling really like confused and frustrated because they'd be up partying and I had school in the mornings and I'd be really mad. I remember like being just so frustrated. But as soon as I started, like I hated them for it almost, But
Right.
then as soon as I started doing it with them, I was like,
Oh, I understand.
oh, like I get it. And I wasn't mad anymore. It just became a part of my life, dude. And I thought I think that's what you said, that you wanted to do that forever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is what I'm doing forever. In
Yeah.
one form or another. I remember I was dating a chick named Leslie, super wonderful human being. And she was like, do you notice that you always, and this was at like 21, 22 years old. And she's like, do you notice that you always are doing something? Like you're smoking weed, you're drinking, like you always have to be. And I didn't even really notice. I was like, no, like I didn't really think about that. But she's like, yeah, she wasn't like bitching at me. She was just like pointing out that I was always doing something.
Right.
At all times. And I was like, oh shit, I guess I do. But I was like, fuck, who cares,
Yeah.
Like that's what we do. What did drugs take? What drugs did you do, and what did these drugs take away from you?
So it started with alcohol for me. It also ended with alcohol for me. So I do say that that's my drug of choice, just because that is the drug that probably caused me the most amount of harm in my life and what led me to do a lot of really terrible things. I also used heroin, opiates, Xanax, and methamphetamines. I did a lot of psychedelics too when I was younger, and even a little bit while I was in the thick of it too, which was not a good combination.
No, it's
It
not.
was horrible.
Yeah, your
But I
life's
was.
so fucked that
It
and
was
you do
not
it,
good.
and you think about your life deeper, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
god.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. So don't recommend that for sure. But yeah, I got pretty serious with heroin and Xanax and alcohol. Those were the three that I think really kind of were my go-tos, and I did a lot of meth as well. But what it really took away from me was ability to cope. Like I think that I had it when I was younger. We all have this like ability to like deal with our emotions, but after I started using and taking these drugs that were like making me not feel anything at all, um, when I would come down and be back to like regular mindset, everything would hit me and it would hurt so
Oh
bad.
god.
It would hurt so bad. And I couldn't take it. I just couldn't take it. It took away my ability to connect with other people. For a while, I used it to connect with people. I thought it made me more chill. I've always been a little bit too much for everybody. And I thought that, calming myself down a little bit, get chill, I'd be able to connect with more people. And in the end, I lost everybody.
Yeah.
I lost everything. I wasn't able to care enough to talk to people and be respectful. I just got to a place where I just didn't care what I said or what I did or how I treated people. And ultimately, I really just lost myself. I wasn't myself anymore.
Yeah. I remember I loved boxing. I told you I won that fight, and like I was really good at it. And I started drinking and smoking weed, and instantly threw it away. Like it was just like I'd rather party, and running doesn't sound. I'm smoking cigarettes. I'm smoking weed.
Yeah.
Running is just not on the table for me right now. And then like we were in our band, and that was like we were selling weed, tons of weed to pay for our equipment. We got a jam every day. None of us worked. And we just partied and like played music all day. And then we started doing oxys, and it ruined the band. Of course, like
Yeah.
we just quit because the oxys became our number one priority. So yeah, it just took a lot of things away. And then eventually like yourself, your soul, dude, as well.
Yeah.
Like it just takes away. It's crazy. And you have no intention of any of that. You just want to have a good time. But yeah, it's crazy. What happened that made you want to get sober?
So I had a relapse in between drug court and where I'm at right now before like this 5 years or whatever. But I went into the drug court program because I got sentenced to prison. I was getting sentenced to prison. My PSI came back and I was going to prison. AP&P was like, "We're done with her. This is our recommendation. We're not taking her back." Um, and I had like a little awakening when I was in jail. There was a lot of older women in there, way older than me. You know, I was like probably 21 at this time. You know, and I just looked around at them and was like, I just don't want to be like that. I don't want to be old and in here. Like I don't want to be. I don't want to do this. You know, like if I go to prison, that's the last thing that hasn't happened to me yet. I've lost everything. You
Yeah.
know, I've done everything I said I would never do. But if I go to prison, I don't have fear of anything anymore because it's already happened. You know,
Yeah, you see a lot of people go to prison and then they go back, dude.
and
I'm
it just keep
super blessed. I got drug court twice.
exactly.
Both times I was going to prison, I got drug court, just like you. So
Yeah, it was. I like appealed it to go into drug court, and you know, it wasn't an easy experience. I had dug myself a pretty big hole with the judge, and he wanted me to prove myself. And he flat out said to me in the courtroom when I got accepted into drug court, "I don't think you're going to make it. Prove me wrong." Um, and I ran with that. That was what fueled me all the way through drug court. Was just wanting to prove someone else wrong, you know. And then I got pregnant early in recovery, way early in recovery. Like I was still using at the time in drug court, and um,
that'd be so tough,
that was
dude.
the next thing, you know, like now I have this baby growing inside of me. I need to change who I am. Like I realized like this is fucking real, you
Yeah.
know, like now I need to be a real adult. And
Was Ari
um
your first
Ari is
kid?
my first, yes.
Cool.
And so I decided that I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that I'm a mom. And that was my goal the whole time I was in drug court. It wasn't recovering, it wasn't anything else. It was just my child, which I regret now looking back.
But
Because
sometimes I think those things get you. Like, if you have to do it for somebody else at first, like, so be it, dude. I don't always
yeah,
agree. I feel like eventually it has to turn into for you.
yeah, at some point
But
it
no
has to turn
matter
into something.
what, dude, like no matter what you're doing it for, I feel like it works for as long as it needs to.
Yeah,
And either you learn to do it for you or you don't,
right.
and you'll probably relapse. But like if it's your
Yeah.
kid at the start, dude, then so be it. I'm always like, Bibbles, I'm gonna fuck you up, dude. Don't knock that over. Oh God, I'm gonna gotta grab her. She made that look easy.
Yeah.
Huh? She like knew
He's
she
like,
wasn't gonna
whatever.
knock it over. Said to stress me out. You're done. Take a nap, Bibs.
Yeah, I feel like it worked for a while, and I think that it was a good having I was having a good head on my shoulders still, right? With like I'm a mom now, like that needs to be my priority. But I just didn't participate in some of the things I should have participated in a little bit more. I took the foundation I had built for granted. I think I wasn't talking about a lot of things. I wasn't trying to share with other people. I had a really weird thing at the time about connecting with other women, and I just didn't want to tell anybody what was going on. And the day I graduated drug court, I relapsed, and that relapse was probably the
Same.
worst thing that's
First time I did it.
ever happened to me. It was horrible. It went downhill so fast. I had a baby now, a kid. I had my own place. I had things to lose I had never had before, and that was a horrible
And it
feeling.
hurts when you lose them, dude.
Yeah, and then after having some, you know, clean time and some kind of recovery in your head, it is shameful. It is painful, and I was suicidal and just really hated myself. And it took a while, but in the end, I got clean because I wanted to be the mom that I needed to be. I didn't want my daughter to go to the state, but she wasn't safe with me either. So I just needed to make the decision and just fucking do it.
So you didn't have to go back to jail or anything?
I didn't go back to
That's
jail.
cool.
I didn't go back to treatment. I just called my sponsor and had her come to my house and go in my fridge, pull out my box of wine, go in my bathroom, get rid of all my needles, and she threw them away from me. And that was that. At that moment, I decided that I was turning it all over and I was going to do whatever this lady told me to do because I didn't want to die and I wanted my kid to have a mom.
It's crazy when you get willing like that.
Yeah.
'Cause the first time I did drug court, I just did it. I didn't want to go to prison.
Yeah.
And I didn't finish my fourth step because I didn't want to be like super vulnerable and like tell my secrets and shit. And like, I just didn't want to do that. I also didn't want to have to share my story at the Friday night meeting. And I
Yeah.
picked the speakers.
Yeah.
And I knew after a year you could share your story. And I was like, fuck, dude. I just was so scared of like being seen and like making mistakes in front of people. Like I
Oh,
was
yeah.
so worried about like what
Oh, yeah.
people thought about me. It was weird. Like just so insecure, dude. And that's a big reason why I realized I was like, I'm just gonna drink and smoke weed in a month. I was homeless so
Yeah.
quick, and I'd lost the place I had. I'd lost everything, dude. I was like, fuck, that happened. Like, because they'd always say like, uh, addiction's a progressive
Yeah.
disease, and I was like,
Oh
we'll
no,
see.
before
I've
it
learned
gets
a
too
lot,
bad.
dude. Like I've learned a lot. I really
Yeah.
thought like I'd learned enough to where I wouldn't go back
Oh
to.
yeah.
And I was doing it in 3 days,
I can
shooting
relate
meth and
that.
shooting heroin in 3 days.
Yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
all it took.
That's literally exactly what happened to me. I went to Applebee's and got drunk when I graduated drug court. I left Applebee's, went home, smoked a blunt with my sister and her boyfriend, and then was paranoid and immediately started thinking, I'm gonna get my kid taken away for weed. I better find some heroin
Yeah.
first. You know what I mean? Like this is
Better
gonna
make it worth
I
it.
better make it worth it. I did that pretty dirty for about 30 days. So I got 30 days to use whatever the fuck I want, and then I'll get my stuff together and I'll be okay. That's not what happened.
No,
That's not what happened at all.
because you feel so bad, dude. You lose all your friends, and it's not like they're like shunning you. They want you to come back, but they're not going to hang out with you if you're.
Oh yeah.
You lose all those people that did all these things for you, like sacrifice all this stuff for you, and it's kind of just like spitting in their face almost.
Oh yeah. I think too that like a lot of the time it's more of like a mental thing. Like they probably would have hung out with me. They probably would have talked to me, but my head told me that they'd wanted nothing to do with me.
They almost become the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I did something wrong now to them and they're going to hate me if they find out. Like I remember running into my sponsor at Smith's when I was using. She used to be my boss. I had quit my job. It was obvious I was using. I had been drinking all night the night before, so I still smelled like booze. And I ran into her in Smith's, and it was over for me. Like I was like, I don't know, I'm doing really good. I'm just,
Yeah, and we lie.
and we
We
lie,
always lie.
and I lied, and I lied to her, and she knew. And I called her later when I was drunk, and we had a conversation. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be okay, but I'm grateful you still pick up my phone. My phone
Yeah.
calls. And I had a friend who was clean and doing thing, and she was a mom, and she still answered my phone calls. And ultimately, that's why I ended up deciding to get clean. They invited me on a suicide walk on a day I was planning to kill myself, and I went on the walk with them, and I was wearing like a long sleeve shirt because I had track marks. I went and picked up my daughter for my mom so it can look like I was being a mom. And she was obviously uncomfortable with me, crying, pushing me off of her. And the whole time I had all these lies prepared in my head for when they asked me, they never asked. And then at the end, I was like, well, I wanted to tell them, I wanted to tell them. I might have made up all these lies in my head, but I wanted to tell them. So I did. And I was like, can you please come home with me? Help me get rid of everything. I just want to be done.
That's cool. You did that.
Yeah, it was like just a divine moment, dude. Spiritual intervention for
I was
sure.
gonna say that was a God shot for sure.
It was a God shot. And the way that everything worked out for me, I know that there's something bigger out there that had a part in that, because it could have went a different direction that day,
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I'm so happy to be where I'm at now.
What mistakes did you make? I know you got pregnant or it's not a mistake.
So yeah,
She's a wonderful, beautiful child.
my favorite mistake.
But getting pregnant in early recovery is obviously not like
Ideal.
the goal. Ideal, yeah,
Yeah,
the goal.
yeah.
But so what other mistakes did you make in early? Because I made a ton, dude.
Yeah. So, well, being in drug court, there's a lot of rules. And in my mind, they weren't that important. Like these are like not the big rules. If
Yeah.
I don't do drugs in drug court, then I'm fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They'll get over it. I'll
they're
be
like
okay,
guidelines,
right?
kind of.
But once I started skipping out on curfew, lying, and not going where I'm supposed to be, checking in and leaving, thoughts of using started coming into my head. I started reaching out to people I shouldn't be talking to. Got drunk, got high, begged to go back to treatment. You know what I mean?
I mean, what are you really gonna do after 10 a.m.?
Exactly. And I
or
like
10 p.m.
10 p.m. Exactly. And in my head, I'm like, it's just a dumb rule. Like we're adults. You know what I mean? But like,
Adults are
I
in bed, dude.
realized after that, like these rules are in place for a reason, dude, and I should follow them because the second I stopped following the rules, my mind starts telling me all the other shit I can get away with, right? And then my addict brain starts feeding on that. I'm like, oh, dude, I've already done this. I got away with drinking. I'll just do heroin today.
Yeah, relapse starts from way sooner than the relapse happens. For
Oh
sure.
yeah, and it's the behaviors, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize that about drug court. It took me way too long to realize I was in drug court for 25 months, because I just couldn't wrap my head around following rules.
Yeah.
I was just gave so much pushback on everything. Like I almost got taken out of drug court for it. Like I stopped using and was pregnant, and they wanted to kick me out of drug court because I was.
You're like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm doing everything I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do. Like what but I was moving on to sober living without talking to my group. I was doing these things that like were just dangerous behaviors that I could not recognize because I wanted to downplay everything I was doing.
Yeah.
So those like the biggest mistakes I feel like I made at the beginning were one, wasn't being safe, got pregnant. But really the second one and the biggest one to me was just like not taking the gift that I was being given seriously. Like I took it for granted. The structure is there for a reason, and I just I just wanted to rebel against it
Yeah,
so
I think
hard.
most of us do.
Yeah.
Most of us do. The first time I did drug court, I listened to the rules because it was like scary, dude. Like shoemate was scary. They were didn't fuck. If you forgot a pen, you got kicked out of group. Like
Yeah.
it was like rough. It
Yeah.
sucked. But the second time it was way more lax, and I like was breaking rules, going sleeping at Kiana's and shit. We started dating before we were supposed to. We were both in drug court.
Yep.
But I also wanted to touch on when I was dating Kiana the first time. I was like living this good life. Like I was doing these things. I was doing good on my assignments. Like doing step work. Like, but I was like talking to other girls while me and Kiana were dating.
Yeah.
You know, like because I needed validation back then, and that's how I always felt better about myself was like knowing girls liked me or
Oh
whether I
yeah.
had a girlfriend or not. And I could never just put both feet in anything. But dude, it really made me want to use because it was like I had these secrets of,
Yep.
you know, I'm portraying this good dude, but I'm kind of being a piece of shit, you know, like
Yeah.
and so yeah, just and I remember I was at Steps and I was working there and they brought an NA meeting in and I was like, I'm gonna relapse or I'm gonna like share about this or something, you know. Jesus, Bibbles, chill. I hope the camera got that. But yeah, it's just suggestions like don't get in a relationship for a year is like I get it for sure.
Oh yeah.
And
It's just
guidelines and rules are there for a reason, and I get those now for sure too. Bibs, I love you, but you're driving me fucking nuts, dude. Yeah. Anyways, what if anything scared you about getting sober?
I think the two biggest things that scared me, like out of just pure raw honesty, was the responsibility. Was the first one. Um, I was good at maintaining what I needed to maintain, but I had proven to myself time and time again that I just was incapable of being responsible, and I was really afraid of letting myself and everyone else down. And it was also really scary, just like thinking about like having to figure stuff out, like like just honestly, adulting in general seemed like such a big thing that I wasn't going to be able to grasp.
Yeah,
And
I
then the
feel you.
second thing was like I I struggled with mental health issues for a long time, and it's ultimately what led me to use. And I was self medicating, and I was afraid that if I stopped using, I didn't think I was going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like I just felt like I wasn't going to be able to figure out what was wrong with me and like be able to just live a regular life.
Yeah,
I like literally just thought I was screwed.
I can relate to that for sure. Like I'm bipolar, and I've finally got on the right meds for the last few years, and I'm like, oh my god, this is what normal people fucking
Yeah.
like. Life is not as hard as it. Like, dude, it's so hard when you're like up here just riding high, and then the next thing you're like just want to kill yourself. You
It's
know, it's like
insane.
what the fuck. Like I
Yeah.
was just killing life. Like,
Everything was fine. And I would judge myself all the time too, like,
what the fuck is
what's
wrong?
wrong with me?
Yeah,
Like I have everything going for me. Like everything's working out so great. Why do I have to self-sabotage everything? Like, and it would hurt people around me because they didn't understand either, like what are we not doing? Like
do you
everyone's
like
like,
pull
is
away from
responsible.
people when you get that
Oh,
way?
I pull away from
I did that
people
to Kiana the first time
and
too.
I
Yeah,
would pull away really hard. And then when they try to have conversations with me about it, I was very
yeah.
defensive, aggressive, like just incapable of talking about emotions, period, and incapable of accepting responsibility for my actions.
Well, dude, it makes it when you're struggling with things like that. It makes it so much harder because you don't even know like why you're experiencing that. So it's really hard to explain it. I remember
Yeah.
like talking to my cousin Jordan, and I'd just be like, "Please tell me like you." He's like, "I don't go through that, dude." And I was just like, "What?
Yeah.
Like, am I broken? Am I like what the like? How
Yeah.
am I gonna do this? Like, I don't know if I could do this."
That was part of what I feel like one of the things that kept me from like really participating in like the program or, when I was in drug court or like the 12-step program was I would go to meetings. I would hear these people talk about how great their lives were becoming, and we'd have like, picking up their chips around the same time, and I would just be like, why don't I feel like that? Are
Yeah,
they lying or does nobody have the same kind of problems that I have? And if that's true, does that mean I'm hopeless?
Jordan one time told me, my cousin Jordan told me, he's like, "Dude, maybe that's your," and that helped me for a long time. He said, "Maybe that's your thing is you're supposed to share about this stuff," and like he's like, "I guarantee a lot of other," and I did, and I like shared about it in groups and like in meetings, and a lot of people would come up and talk to me afterwards, which made me feel better about it. But
Yeah.
it's still like, dude, everything felt so pointless, and like waking up going to, I just felt like I was a robot, and like
Yeah.
I just everything felt so pointless, and I was like, why do we do this? Like,
Right.
you know. But then 2 weeks later, I'd be fucking spiritually locked in, reading all these books, sending people all these like pages
Yeah.
of books I was reading because they were speaking to my soul at the
Yeah.
time. Like everything I read was just like for me, and
Yeah.
I'd share it with like 100 people. Just
Yeah.
and then a month later, I'm in my bed, not going to work for 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's just tough, man. It's hard to share about how you're feeling when you don't even know like
Why you're feeling like that?
yeah, it's hard, dude.
Yeah.
What did you have to unlearn to stay sober?
Being a victim. I think that
That's a big one, huh?
yeah, that's the biggest one. I remember hearing
That's a
it
good
too.
answer.
I heard it somewhere, maybe on a speaker tape when I was in treatment one time, some like AA speaker tape, I don't know, but the lady said something, it was a woman, and I remember saying that I had to let go of this idea that I was a victim in order for me to find my sanity. And that really hit me so hard. I'm getting chills talking about it because I did. I grew up thinking I was a victim, and I mean, and I was in some situations. I went through a lot of things in my childhood that were not ideal. Um, but I used that as a coping mechanism to defend all of the behaviors that I was developing afterwards to cope with the feelings that come from what was happening to me, right? And in my mind, I had been done so wrong. I was blaming God and everybody
Yeah.
else for everything that's ever happened to me. And everything was my parents' fault. Everything was my, friend's fault. This person did that to me. I was sexually abused as a child, whatever, and I was just like, that was all someone else's fault. And so because of that, I have to have this like crazy revenge. Like I was like, I feel like revenge fueled half of my disease.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to, I was just so angry and so hateful. And it was so much to handle. I'm just such a sensitive person, and I have this like deep, passionate heart inside, and I just never used it, so I had no idea what it was, but it just felt like too much pain to handle. And but when I let that idea go of being a victim, I was able to work through some resentments and really focus on what matters because I don't have control over what happened to me, but I do have control over how I respond.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really changed the game for me. I'm not a victim to anything. Life happens the way that it happens. And it
Yeah.
happens for whatever reason it happens, but I don't get to be hateful and vengeful all the time.
That's one of the Course in Miracles lessons that really like helped me. Is it's like that lesson that day is I'm not a victim of the world I see. And I remember the first time I did the lessons, I was on the treadmill and I noticed that I'd see like the news. I'd get like angry and like about politicians and like just on both sides, you know. And I
Yeah.
realized that I was even with like our government, I thought I was a victim and like just everything. God, like you said, my life growing up, like maybe if I was raised different or grew up with, but I had my grandparents to stay with. They helped me a lot, and I still turned out. I was like, "Fuck you! I want to party." You know, I don't want
Yeah.
to be here. Fuck you! I hated
Yeah.
them for it, for making me live there. But yeah, we're not a victim of the world we see, dude. And it
Yeah.
helps you take responsibility for your shit. You know, like some of it's on us. I think that we're blaming other people for. You know,
Yeah.
that was a good answer for
Thank
sure.
you.
What has helped you to remain sober? Like I know NA, I know. What are the like main things of?
So, I mean, my family is just a big thing, like I think I had never even thought of having a family when I was using. Like, I just didn't think that was me. I was not a wife. I was not a mom. I was barely even a human. I did not think
Same.
that I would have any of the things that I have now. And and it's everything I ever wanted when I was a kid, like, and I don't ever want to take that away from my children. So like that alone keeps me clean. But also like I don't cherish that lifestyle anymore, like I just the way that I live chaotically comfortable with this like false ego and all that stuff, like it just isn't for me,
No.
It's just not. And I have dreams and goals now that I never had before, and I don't want to let that go. I've never had the feelings that I have now prior to drug use, even, like just ambition. I was not an ambitious person, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Same.
I didn't have a motivation to get out of bed. And now I'm like going to school, and I'm going to school for criminal justice, and that is just insane. And
That's dope. Super dope. When you told me that, I was
yeah,
like, damn, dude.
yeah. And people think it's crazy when they hear about it too. Like, he's gonna try and be a cop. Like, I don't know, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do something different, but it's gonna be in the criminal justice field, and I don't want to give that up either. I thought there was no chance in the world that something like that could happen for somebody like me, but I've been out of trouble long enough. I've been clean long enough, and I'm doing the work. So why
Yeah.
not? Why not me?
We think very similarly. When I was in drug court, I see Jen Jones used to be the case manager for Southwest Center and was like involved in like the staff meeting. She's actually who saved my life. Like I was going to prison for sure, and she got me. They were like I was supposed to plead into drug court. I'd lied 3 times, set up different court dates. I said I was supposed to. I wrote my lawyer, as I said, I was a staff member at the Matter House,
Yeah.
and that Tyrone was there, and that Tyrone was. Then I got assault, robbery, and burglary of a dwelling
Yeah.
while I was supposed to be up at. Anyways,
Yeah.
but I just remember seeing Jen, and I was like, dude, they will never let me work in any kind of capacity like that. I will
Yeah.
never get a job at treatment. Like I'll never get a job at, because that's really the only thing that sounded like something I'd want to do, because I hate working, dude.
Yeah.
I hate it so much, dude. That's
Yeah.
one thing I still am just like, why do we gotta work
Yeah.
40 hours a fucking week?
Yeah.
You know,
It's a lot.
it's bullshit, dude. But I love my job. Super
Yeah.
lucky I have the job I do. But yeah, I just never thought any of that stuff was for me either.
Yeah. I didn't think that I could hold a job, let alone go to school or learn anything. Like I just wasn't. I didn't have any really belief in myself of being capable of much.
What were your goals when you started?
When I
Your
first
recovery?
when I first got clean, initially when I first got into drug court, my main goal was to just not go to prison, you know.
Yeah.
And then the next goal, like I said, was to just be there for my daughter, you know, just to find a way to be a mom. Um, but this time coming in, my main goal was to learn how to live life without the use of drugs. That was it. That was the only goal I came with. I didn't have anything else on in my plan book. Like it was just if I could just learn how to live without the use of drugs, I can start planning after that.
Yeah.
And I did, and that's things developed over time. But in the beginning, really, I just wanted to be clean.
Same. At what point did you start to believe in yourself?
Let's see. Probably around month 3. Um, I had 90 days clean again after my relapse, and I I knew I wanted to do something with my life that was going to change. That was going to change something. I mean, I don't want to act like I'm going to change the world, but I just knew, like, I heard it since I was a kid, and it's just a saying that stuck out to me forever. And it's like, just be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
And I just remember hearing that, and like, it always just resonated with me. And I just wanted to do something different, like different and good. And I just thought, like, I could literally do anything. Like, I could literally be whoever I want to be now because I'm not using anymore. Nothing's gonna hold me back because I'll take care of whatever's gonna hold me back. And that's when I decided, like, dude, I think I want to be a cop, you know?
Dude, that's gonna be a no. I'm not trying to shoot it down by any means,
Yeah.
but I watch like a lot of like YouTube shorts and stuff,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are like what cops deal with and shit.
Mhm.
But just when I started working in treatment,
Mhm.
I instantly had more of an appreciation for like the COs at the jail and like police officers, because they test you and test you and test you, and like, and then I was like, oh my god, this is what it
Yeah.
feels like to be on the, and like the COs at the jail had it way worse than I had it at like Steps when I first started.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly saying shit to them,
Oh
like
yeah.
disrespectful shit, and like it'd be so hard not to get like jaded and just hate,
Yeah.
you know, because people are especially cops. You arrest somebody, they're fucking pissed, dude.
They are.
They're pissed you get pulled over. If I get pulled over, I'm like, fuck this dude.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, you like, it's like nobody wants you to, unless they call you for help.
Yeah.
Then they like you.
Then
But,
they like you. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's just, I'm proud of you, because that'll be a journey for real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to hate cops. You know what I mean? Like
I did too.
yeah, it was a huge mental change for me to want to do this. And I think the reality of the situation is, like, I had this misconstrued view of the system because of the way that I grew up, the things that I was doing growing up. I had been taken from my parents when I was 14. I grew up in the system because of the, you know, behaviors I was participating in, crimes I was committing, drugs I was using, whatever. And I really just felt like it was me against them all the time. And when I got clean this and went into drug court, I realized that the cops have saved my life multiple times. You know, like I had this huge hate for task force forever, and then in reality, like I talk to those people sometimes now. You know what I mean? Like those are the people I'm reaching out to write my letters for recommendation for the board of pardons because they changed my life. You know,
Yeah,
if it wasn't for them being diligent at their job, I'd probably be dead somewhere right now.
for real.
There's no way that I would have made it using the way that I was using if they didn't incarcerate me and put me in jail. You know?
Yeah,
And I even remember sometimes I'd be pissed at them at the second I would get in jail, just like that breath of fresh air. I mean, before the withdrawals kicked in, you know. But
yeah.
I would just be like, oh, I'm fine. You know, I have structure here, 3 meals.
It's almost like a
Yeah.
relief sometimes.
Yeah,
when
it
you
was
get
like a
arrested.
little break, you know, and I would be
'Cause
happy
you're
that I was
tired,
there.
dude.
Yeah.
You're worn out. It's crazy how we'll hold on to that just for our misery for dear life, dude. Like, I've got caught 3 times trying to bring shit into the jail.
Yep.
Like, dude, I'll just hold on to my misery till the fucking
Very last
bitter
second.
end, dude.
Oh yeah.
no matter what, dude. I just don't want to be sick. And yeah, aside from like telling all people, I would do anything to not fucking go to jail.
Yeah. I really just was. I would give up when the cops got there most of the time. Like there was a fight in me, but it was mostly just because I have that little rebellion streak
Yeah.
inside of me that just was like, ah, fuck you guys, whatever.
I
But
wouldn't want to arrest you.
yeah, I've always been spicy, but in reality, the situation is just I was so done every time, and every time I went to jail, I was sad that I was in jail, but like I always was happy to be there too. Like at least I have somewhere to be right now, and I'm okay.
Yeah, when people are talking about it, I'm like, don't be dissing jail, dude. Like jail's.
Don't go to jail if you don't want to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like I have no. I mostly spent most of my time in the Iron County jail, and they were great to me. Like I was a horrible inmate too sometimes, and they did their job and did what they were supposed to do.
And it's fun when because dude, you're living so shitty. Like you never eat, you on the run. Like I was always on the run.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never checked. As soon as I got out, didn't check in, and was on the run
Oh, yeah.
again. Like so, dude, I'm just so tired. And then I'd start laughing again. Like after you're done with the worst of it,
Oh, yeah.
the come down, and I'm like, oh, I'd be praying drugs came in. Like,
Yeah.
please let drugs come
Yeah.
in, please. And then like after a week, I'd be like, please don't let drugs
Yeah.
come in here, dude. I'm like, because I'm not well enough to where I'll say no.
Yeah.
But I'm almost there to where I just don't want to do drugs anymore, and I don't want to start this process because you do it again and it like starts your withdrawals all over
again. Yeah.
dude. And you're like, so I'd just be like, please
don't
let
this,
nothing come in right now. So it's just so crazy how for 5-6 days straight, I'm just like, please let something, just begging God
Yeah.
to let something come in because I'm so sick, and it just changes. Like the next day, you feel like you sleep finally.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
You laugh again, and you're
Oh,
like.
yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, this is, and even though you're in jail's where I would get that back.
Oh, yeah, I
so
say
like
it all the
jail was
time.
always like not a bad place for me to be. Because I'd
No.
get myself back and start reading,
Oh yeah. Me
working
too.
out, like just doing things and laughing.
Yeah, that was some of the funnest times I've had in my life. Is in maximum security in Iron County Jail, just in a room with one person, just bored out of
Yeah.
our brains, just laughing at the dumbest
Doing
shit.
dumb, and you have to talk to people.
Yeah, we had to connect, and it was
Yeah.
just something I hadn't
There's no
done in so
phones,
long.
dude.
We'd see each other cry, whatever else,
Yeah.
and it was really beautiful to have those things. I still talk to the people that I was incarcerated with because they too are clean now. Some of them ended up passing on, but I am really grateful for those moments that I had because those were like, if I didn't have those moments of like laughter and clarity and like thinking about myself and taking care of myself, I would not have made it. There's no
Yeah.
way, like
You
I wouldn't
gotta
have
have 'em.
anything to like live for.
Yeah.
And you go to jail and things are funny again and you're laughing and you're smiling and
Like you laugh more in jail than
anywhere else.
Yeah. It's the weirdest thing.
I agree.
It's so weird. Maybe rehab you laugh.
Yeah,
like,
rehab a little bit too. Yeah.
So I know we've talked a lot about your goals, but is there any other goals that you're trying to reach today?
Right now, what I'm working on is I'm in school. I'm full time at Utah Tech, studying criminal justice with law enforcement emphasis and minoring in psychology. So I'm working towards my schooling. It's been really cool, different. I didn't think I was going to be capable of doing anything like this, so it feels really weird still. I don't feel like I belong there sometimes, but I love it and it's great.
Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. And then I'm working towards getting my record expunged. I've been denied a bunch of times.
I need to do that too, dude.
And it's time for me to go in front of the board of pardons to request a pardon. And I'm doing one last step before that, where I'm requesting.
Did you go to
reductions.
prison?
No, but they make you go to the board of pardons either way to get a pardon. So like if you can't get expunged, you have to go to the board of pardons to do it. So that's what I'm heading towards. But I'm doing one last shot. I have a couple charges that got a 402 reduction on them, like cases, but there's other charges in the case that didn't, like the misdemeanors that were like class A's or whatever that just stuck. They reduced all my felonies to misdemeanors. So now I'm going through that process and trying to get another reduction.
If I was on the board of pardons, I'd reduce it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate
you have that look. I was thinking about this earlier, that you don't look like, when I look at you, I don't see somebody that was like that used drugs.
I really appreciate
it's
that.
weird when and I remember when Trina told, she's like, I can't imagine you doing any of these, because I tell her all like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And she'd just be like, I don't imagine you doing any of this stuff. And I was like, what the fuck?
It's so weird. I moved down.
Really? And it made me feel really good when she said that.
Because you don't look like you do. Yeah.
Because you feel like you're that person, and then all of a sudden
like
somebody else sees it and you're like, really?
Yeah, it was weird for me getting clean and coming and moving down here because I mean I'm from St. George, but I did most of my using in Cedar City. It's where I was living when after I turned 16, and so
Dude, it's hard to get away with shit in Cedar.
yeah, it is. And when I moved down here and was like meeting people, talking to them, like I would tell people like a story or something, they would just look at me funny, like they didn't believe me, you know. And then I'd run into someone from Cedar, like when I was working in Lionsgate or something. Someone would come in and be like, "I can't believe you're here. This is crazy." And they try to tell stories about it. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not that person. You know, I'm your case manager right now." Like,
dude, it's so many people. I've used with everybody here. I've sold drugs to
yeah,
everybody here, and so many people. I've slept tons of girls, like, and so I see so many people that come through, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like.
yeah,
I have a past with them,
yeah,
like so many people, and it's like I always like try to tell Ryan anything that's like
yeah,
happened or like anything,
yep.
but I'm good at keeping it professional, dude,
Yeah,
for
I've been
sure.
the same. I have my boundaries super high because it's just different, you know. Like, yeah, I did used to be that person, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
Well, first of all, it's not healthy for you. Second of all, like, this is my job. Like, we're not like, this isn't like, it's not funny right now.
yeah, it's a
Maybe when I
trip.
see you in the future, when you have some clean time at a meeting, you can bring that up. But right
Yeah.
now, we're not going to talk about that, you know?
Do you ever feel like an imposter to your own life?
Oh my God, all the time. I struggle with this so hard at the beginning of recovery, especially because part of me like is like convinced in the very back of my head it's just my disease. I know now, but like you're just pretending, you know? Like this is
Yeah,
just a big joke. Like you just wanted to be clean and be cool so bad that you've just been trying and doing everything everyone else is doing, but you're just really not that person, you know? And so I went through this little fear for a while where I was like, what if one day my husband divorces me, you know? Why stay clean, you know?
yeah.
And then I'm like checking myself and call my sponsor, like, I think I need to work through a reservation I don't know if I have. You know what I mean? Like do I like am I only staying clean because I'm in a relationship with someone who's clean? Like I really had to question myself, and I'm glad too because it's like a lot, it's like faith in a lot of things, you know. Like the questions help you understand more, and they strengthen like your belief and your loyalty to things, you
For
know.
sure.
So I went through that phase, like second or third year of recovery, of like, is this even who I am, or am I just, you know, doing this shit for shits and
Is it
giggles right
getting better
now?
though? Do you think?
Oh, it does for sure. I think now,
We just keep adding stuff to it though. So like
yeah,
we keep like new stuff.
yeah,
So it kind of does it again. Like you kind of go through that process again,
yeah,
like how you're going to school for.
yeah,
So it kind of starts it over, at least for me.
yeah.
Like with a kid on the way, I'm like, I can't be a fucking dad. Like I don't know. Like I start having all these doubts, but then there's like a core belief now that I can basically do anything. Like it's down there. I just have to find it sometimes. But I've come to the point where I'm like, dude, you can do basically anything, man. You're capable of this, and that's so different from what I used to believe about myself.
Oh yeah, and I'm really grateful too that like I think there's a lot of us who feel the same way, you know, like the imposter syndrome and all that. But there's some people who don't go through that. And my husband, I'm so grateful that I feel like we marry people who are meant for you, you know. And
Yeah,
like I'm very, um, like I'm just a stress case. I'm just like anxiety ridden. I have to question everything. And Jesse's very like grounded, very like you know, logical. And he's helped me realize so many things about myself that I can't see them, you know, like, cause I'm so in my head that my thoughts get misconstrued about who I am and what I'm doing. But my husband always reminds me, you know,
that's cool.
like you're doing the work, like you're showing up, you're doing these things. And honestly, I found a lot of my confidence in being with him, like just someone to be there to remind me that like the past isn't going to follow me forever. You know, I'm not who I used to be.
Yeah, I love Jesse.
He's the best dude.
That dude makes me laugh. I laugh probably the best with Jesse. Whenever I see Jesse, I'm in tears at least once from laughing, and I love friends like that, dude.
He's funny, but I'm way funnier. Dude. Like that's just a fact. But you're right. He is a funny guy.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I just wanted to say, I've came to the realization that we're just big kids anyways. Like
Yeah.
we're not even, there's no such thing as an adult. We're just like still kids, just kind of pretending like we know what we're doing. But do you ever just feel like you're just still a kid? Just
Oh, dude.
like,
Yes. I actually this summer I went through this huge thing too, like where I watched this video. It said something about like you know women lost their ability to play, right? And I'm sure men did too, but like women lost their ability to play. Like they just become this woman. They're expected to do all these things,
yeah.
care for people, be you know. But have you ever stopped and thought about playing? You know. And I've always been someone who likes to mess around. I mean, birthday parties, I'm running through the sprinklers
Yeah, I
with
was
the
just going
kids,
to
you
say
know?
that when you and Keanu were running through the water park,
Yeah.
I was like, cool. That's
I
cool,
like to
dude. I'm
frolic. I
glad
like
she has
to
a
do
friend
those
like
things.
that.
Yeah, it's fun for me, and it like one, it heals my inner child for sure. But two, it's just like it's just letting loose and not caring about other things. You know, responsibilities, what's expected of you. Like
Yeah.
that's my little form of rebellion now. You know, I watched this thing about climbing a tree one day. Someone's like, if you climb a tree a day, you'll be so
You're
much
always in a
happier.
tree.
And I started climbing trees. I
Yeah.
started climbing trees, and every time I see a tree that I'm like, I want to climb that tree, I take my shoes off and I climb that tree, and
I
I'll
love
sit in
that.
it. because I'm like, you know what? This is what my body wanted me to do. It might be weird. I don't know why I did it, but you know what? It wanted to do it, so I came up here and I feel good about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just wanted to end this by saying you and Jesse own a home, right?
Yeah.
You have your family together.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have your relationship, and you're
Yes.
going to school. And also, like, the most important thing is you work on yourself and you work on your inside. Like, if you're not working on your inside, then none of these things like really mean shit, dude. They're all like empty things to have. I watched my cousin start Cloud9, and he was working on himself a lot, Braxton.
Mm-hmm.
And before this happened, he was a server at Golden Corral, humble, like being. And then Cloud9 blew up, dude. And he
Yeah.
had all this money, and he had a $500,000 home. Back when a $500,000 home was like a big. It
Yeah.
was, dude,
Yeah.
it's two homes, dude,
Yeah.
with a basketball court in the back. Like it was it, dude. And he had a beautiful wife. Like he just built all these things, dude. And I was there with him at the end after he'd relapsed. I'd relapsed, and I had nowhere to go, and he let me stay with him. And I just seen him crying by himself, dude. And I was just like, and I remember being so jealous of him. And I've talked about this on here before, but I just think it's important. Like I'd be so jealous of him, dude. And it was so weird because he had everything you could need, you know.
Yeah.
And then I just seen him by himself crying. He was just at the end. He's by himself with me there. All I'm there for his drugs, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and no, I have nowhere else to go. Um, so he didn't really have anybody there because I didn't count for nothing. I was stealing shit from him, like
Yeah.
doing terrible shit. And it was just such a crazy lesson for me to learn that none of this outside matters unless you've done like inside work. And that's what I'm most proud of you for.
Thank you.
All the other stuff's super dope, super
Yeah.
proud of you. But you're an awesome person,
Thank you.
and I love you very much.
I love you too.
What was it last? Oh, Jesse wanted me to ask, what generation are you to go to school in your family, to college?
I am a first generation.
First generation.
Yeah.
That's dope,
First
dude.
generation. Yeah.
That's super cool. Good question, Jesse. Any hope or any message of hope for just anybody who's struggling and like and feeling like we were that they not capable of doing these things in life? Because I think most people feel like that.
Oh
you know?
yeah, for sure.
Some come in hot, like they're like, I can
Like,
fucking
dude,
do
yeah.
it. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Well, I think the hardest thing for me was overcoming the obstacle of like having a support system, right? Because you use for so long and that's all you know. You don't have a support system, and I just felt like I didn't have, But the recovery community here, but everywhere, really, the people that are in there, they live to help other people. They live to help walk other people through what's going on, and you don't have to do it alone. It'll never have to be done alone. Um, if you don't believe in yourself, pick up a step working guide, call somebody, if that's not your thing, and do some work, because the second you start working on yourself, you start to build that confidence back up. And you can realize that you really are capable of anything. There was something that my therapist said to me in drug court all the time, because I was like constantly complaining about how insecure I was. And she would say, if you want to have self-esteem, you got to do esteemable things. So like the first step is always action. If you start off with action and not just thought, you're setting yourself up for success.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Last question. Did you have fun?
I had so much fun. This is great.
I love this. This is great. I'm really glad you did this with me. Blue's sick. Thank you, Jesse, for watching.
Thank
Blue
you.
while she's sick. Because I've definitely been wanting to have you on here. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love you. Like, follow, subscribe. Like right fucking now, dude. Love you guys. Stay lit, dude. That's it. Peace.